is a Bramble Jam podcast.
Welcome to Girls Gone Hallmark, a Hallmark review podcast. I'm Megan, and I'm a longtime Hallmark fan.
I'm Wendy. I'm a former Hallmark hater.
Today, we are continuing our series of fan favorite movies. We are coming into the home stretch of these movies. If you want to catch up with other fan favorites, scroll back in our feed all month long. We've been doing listener-suggested movies, and today we are talking Pearl in Paradise, which originally aired way back in August 2018 on Hallmark.
Wow, that feels like a long time ago.
Ancient history.
And it was.
Yeah. While you're listening to this episode, click on over to Instagram where we are Girls Gone Hallmark and give us a follow. We'd love for you to be our friend over there.
Hey, jump into our Girls Gone Hallmark Facebook group. It's a private group. It's pretty drama-free. We talk everything Hallmark over there.
As always, if you have thoughts on these episodes, if you have thoughts on these movies, if you just want to make your Hallmark opinions known, shoot us an email, girlsgonehallmark@gmail.com. And you just might hear it included in an upcoming listener mailbag episode where we share your thoughts, your opinions, and, tangents abound over there.
It's such a fun episode to record.
I really love those. Let's hear a synopsis for Pearl in Paradise.
It's kind of long, so be prepared. Okay, it's not that long. It's 3 sentences, but it could take me 5 minutes. So Alex hopes to be creative director of her magazine if she photographs the blue pearl Colin wrote about in the book Pearl in Paradise. He hopes that by writing a guest article for her magazine, he'll boost his failing sales. The two decide to keep searching for the rare pearl in Fiji, neither aware yet that finding true love could just be the rarest adventure of all.
Oh, God.
I know. I don't know who wrote that. Obviously, I copy and paste that from the press site, sometimes IMDb, but mostly the press site. I'm like, woof.
I mean, it was 7 years ago. So
I know. Different people. Yeah. Different everything. Oof.
Pearl in Paradise was directed by Gary Yates. Gary has a deep resume of Hallmark and Hallmark-esque directorial projects. His 43 credits include Christmas by Starlight and On the 12th Date of Christmas.
Jennifer Notes Shapiro shares the story credit for Pearl in Paradise. Her other projects include Christmas Under Wraps and A Christmas Treasure.
Christine Conrad is credited both with the story and the teleplay for this movie. She has 74 writing credits, and those include some of our favorites like On the 12th Date of Christmas and Tipline Mysteries, Dial 1 for Murder.
Jill Wagner stars as Alex Anderson, although she will go on to appear in 7 Mystery 101 movies with her co-star Chris Polaha. This movie predates that series, which I didn't know. I was surprised by that information. Jill has 41 acting credits, which include 16 episodes of the series Lioness on Paramount Plus, a show my husband watches and enjoys very much.
Oh, I don't know anything about that show. Kristoffer Polaha as Colin Page needs no introduction. He has a total of 90 acting credits, including the aforementioned Mystery 101 series, A Biltmore Christmas, A Dickens of a Holiday, and The Christmas Quest.
Rob Kippa Williams plays Malachi. Rob is of New Zealand descent and has 22 acting credits, including 198 episodes of the Australian drama Home and Away.
Naomi Sequeira plays Daniela. Naomi is an Australian actress who also appeared in the Hallmark movie Hearts Down Under in 2020.
Dina Gillespie appears as Sharon Williams. Surprise! Dina is also an Australian actress with 22 acting credits.
Pearl in Paradise was filmed on location in Fiji. Hey, we're going to take a quick break and we're going to come right back with our first impressions of Pearl in Paradise. Hey, Wendy, what is your first impression of the fan favorite movie, Pearl in Paradise?
Well, I kind of mentioned this in our About section, but considering the chemistry between these two leads, I could have sworn that they filmed this between takes of Mystery 101.
Yeah, so I have some thoughts about that as well in my likes, but my first impression is I think Pearl in Paradise might be the movie that came first and set the bar in the hidden treasure hunt genre of movies.
That's really interesting you mentioned that, because that's my first like.
Let's hear.
I like that there was a treasure hunt aspect in this movie, and it reminded me a lot of The Christmas Quest, which is also another Kristoffer Polaha movie from last year. I like when Hallmark does like these adventure type movies, and I thought they did this one well. It had good leads, it had a beautiful location, and I liked the interesting lore that it offered.
That's really interesting that you say that, because I loved The Christmas Quest. This movie reminded me of movies like Chasing Waterfalls and that other movie where they find the indigenous artifact, where there's always some sort of drama around the finding of the artifact itself.
I agree.
I think this is significantly better than those movies. I think those movies saw the success of this movie and they're like, we're going to do everything we can to recreate it. And I think by and large have failed to recreate it. And I think the reason why I'm going to say it. I think the reason why they haven't been as successful is, look, it's really clear to me why Jill and Chris went on to film 7 Mystery 101 movies together, because their chemistry is fire.
Like, I agree too.
I could totally see Hallmark or the powers that be or whomever, whether it's the director or the writer, being like, yo, we got to get these two working together because this is their first project together and they have such natural chemistry.
Yeah, I would love to know how quickly Mystery 101 came after this movie. Not even essentially like when it came out, but like when
I think the next movie was 2019, so who knows when they were made as opposed to when they were released.
Right.
But there certainly was they put out 7 Mystery 101 movies over a relatively short, it was just looking at the dates of those movies yesterday. I think it's about 3 years where all 7 movies come out.
Oh, wow. Wow. Well, I did think Jill Wagner and Chris were great together. They have like an ease about them. Yeah, I had honestly assumed that they had already worked on Mystery 101 and had like built that natural rapport, because that series is so lends to like a lot of conversation and whatever. I don't know. His reactions to her felt so genuine. Like he's very natural. Like he just makes it look effortless. He's super likable. I mean, guys, if you didn't know, I'm kind of a fan. So, I mean,
yeah, he's just one of the best. We just talked about her pen pal, where Paris really sold the movie for us. For me, Fiji is its own character. It's like scenery porn. I really loved the setting. And I like that we get a mix of both. It's not just like all sweaty jungle hunting. They have some like fun resorty. There's a dance scene and there's a fruity drink at a bar scene. You know,
Can we talk about the fruity drink at the bar scene? It's one of my favorite exchanges between the two of them. And
when they first meet.
After the airport, like they had that whole exchange at the airport, and then they're at the hotel or whatever, and Alex is drinking a cocktail, and what's his character's name? Colin. Colin's like, oh, I only drink tea. And the line is, I drink tea, to which she responds, in this climate? And he says, in any climate. And I just thought it was so funny. One, because I'm a tea drinker myself. So like, yes, I'll drink a hot tea when it's 100 degrees out. I don't care. But like, I just thought it was so funny. And I did really enjoy that dance scene as well. I just liked them together. They just were so good together.
100% agree. You said they're natural. I just want to watch them. I'm like, yeah, just let them run, because they sell me on their chemistry. Kind of in that same vein, like you said, I liked the treasure hunt element. I thought it was well done on a Hallmark level, and that's not a knock. I mean, we know what we're working with here. We're not going to get crazy special effects and stunts through this forest, but I thought the reveal of the treasure wasn't as hokey as it could have been. This was a summer nights movie, and I think it does exactly what it's supposed to do. It makes you want to head off on a tropical vacation. It makes you want a little summer romance. There's a good a balance of adventure and resort luxury. I think this movie does exactly what it's supposed to do. You've got great romantic leads. You've got beautiful scenery. You've got just a little summer escape romance. I think it's well done in that regard.
That is so funny. I've never really thought about that with their summer lineup of the kinds of movies that they put out in the summer. And yes, you're right. That's exactly the kind of movie I want. If I'm at home watching a summer movie, I want to escape to a tropical island with beautiful leads and a fun adventure. Yeah, nailed it.
Well, I think the problem sometimes is we have Hallmark themes their months or their series, and sometimes those themes are purely for clumping a group of movies together, right? There's no actual theme to the movies. They're like, well, we got these 4 movies, we're dropping them in August. Let's call it summer something. Let's call our 4 September movies Autumn Harvest or Fall into Love, even if there's not a single dead leaf, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily want every single movie to fall into a theme, but I like it when the theme works.
I agree. Also, something I liked about this, I enjoy the opposites attract trope.
Yeah.
I don't think they do it a whole lot at Hallmark. I mean, maybe they do, and I just can't remember right now. Like it wasn't enemies to lovers here. But I appreciated like how regimented Colin was at like keeping his life running smoothly. Like I found that highly relatable. But then in contrast, I enjoyed that Alex was like more adventurous, and I found that kind of admirable. So I just thought like these two opposites completely work together.
I agree with you. I think it's easy to mix up enemies to lovers and opposites attract. Like there was some conflict early on simply because their ways of doing things were so different, but it wasn't mean-spirited conflict.
Yeah, it didn't like lead into like, I hate this person. Now I have to spend all this time with this person.
Yes. Some growing pains in their relationship, figuring out how to work together.
Yeah. I can't help but think about how you mentioned that movie Chasing Waterfalls up at the top. And I do have to admit, when I saw that, she was like, oh, I'm going to be out and taking photos of this like special thing. I thought, oh God, this is what we have. Like she's going to take a picture of something that she wasn't supposed to, and et cetera, et cetera. I'm glad that it did kind of like go that way a little bit, but
but there wasn't some like, oh no, it accidentally got sent by some weird GPS location, and now everybody knows, and I've ruined the secret.
Yes. That's why I'm glad it didn't go that way. It kind of surprised me a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's what these other movies really wanted to be. I think the fact that they found the treasure, agreed to keep it a secret so that everybody could experience the magic of finding it. I actually kind of liked that. Like the story about being like the journey is more important than the destination.
Yeah, I like that part too. However, when they find the pearl and the inscription, I was like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Please dumb it down. Like I need you to explain it to me.
Yeah, I understand that. I think it was a little bit like, whatever the line was, he who finds it will never be worthy. I was like, wait, I don't understand. But the idea being, I think it's your own triumph, not one you need to share with the world. Like, let this continue to be this secret, special thing and not turn it into like, put it in a museum or make it a treasure hunter thing that people are going to ruin the experience. I liked the sentiment. My brain can't help but go to like, someone's going to ruin it. Someone's going to come along and not be as good of spirit and ruin the experience.
Oh, for sure.
For people in the future.
For sure.
Are you ready for wishes?
I am.
I really only have one.
Oh, okay.
Mine is, explain to me how Alex didn't understand that Colin did not know where the pearl was, because no one knows. I know he says like he has secret information, but they spent days listening to all of these people tell them that they don't know where it is, all of these people who have more connection to the pearl. It just seemed like when he finally revealed to her, I don't know where it is, I thought, yeah, duh, of course you don't know where. It just didn't make sense to me that he was telling her, like, I know where it is. But then they were going to all of these people and asking them to help them find it. I felt like there was a disconnect there.
Got it. Yeah. That doesn't really make a lot of sense, does it?
Like, why are they going to all of these people who have connections to the story? And they were like, do you know where it is? If they don't know where it is, then Colin doesn't know where it is.
Yeah. I mean, are you wondering why you are asking that? Like, why didn't she like get there sooner? About like, well, if all these other people don't know, why would Colin know?
How could Colin? And he's like poring over this notebook that was given to him with all of this information. The two big pieces of information were adding up in my brain.
Got it. That's your only wish?
Yeah.
Okay, I have a few, but they're nothing. I mean, okay, hear me out. My biggest question was, is it far-fetched that a fictional writer wrote a book about a location he's never been to?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because, I mean, they're storytellers, right? Like, you have great imaginations. Like, of course, like, you can write about a magic pearl or whatever, whatever it is. Like, you don't have to have actually gone to the location and find it, right? Right?
You know, I mean, I don't think it's crazy that. No, I don't think it's crazy that he's written about a tropical location that he's never been to.
Right. So
especially given that he had done all the research.
Right. And it just was so weird to me. Like, her character was like, what do you mean you've never been here? Like, she just gave him a hard time about it. I don't know. I
think she just can't wrap her head around the idea that, like, you're writing these stories and you've never had any desire to live it yourself. And he's like, I'm good.
This is why I find him highly relatable, this character.
Totally.
I swear to God. Yeah. The other thing that I thought this movie, like I said earlier, like there were some elements of surprise to me, but overall thought it was pretty predictable. A very typical 2018 movie for Hallmark. Like, it didn't contain anything that would ruffle anybody's feathers. And if I were to describe it, I would call it safe.
Yeah.
I found it enjoyable, but pretty safe. Mm-hmm. Pretty safe. Two more things. The big scene where they fall into the river, it seems very dangerous to me. And then they like get out and they're hardly affected.
Yeah. It seemed like we should be a little more worried, like they were being swept away for a moment there.
Yes. I mean, the scene I thought was pretty good. I was like, oh my God. And then like they just climb out of the water and they're like moving on with their day. I'm like, what?
Did you think they were going to open up that dry bag and the notebook was going to have been ruined?
Oh, I didn't. But that would have been a good twist.
He was entrusted with this priceless artifact and he's just opening it up on the banks of a river. Okay,
I
go
know.
ahead.
Here's my last thing. Full disclosure. I did watch this movie with a tiny hesitation about Joe Wagner.
Oh yeah.
I'm hoping I'm hoping I can put that aside for our summer plans.
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
She's a fine actress. Like, I enjoyed the movie, but I can't help but like have this like.
Yeah, I hear you. Like, it's hard to let that stuff go.
Yeah. And that's all. That's all my wishes.
All right, let's talk. Did you see that?
Okay.
I have one true did you see that and two just like comments.
Okay.
One, I'd like to comment on her desktop of her computer and how her images are just strewn all over it. I can relate, girl. That is me. I just like dump stuff there, and then eventually I do that exact same thing, just select them all and drop them into their own little folder, and that's another day's problem. Also, related to that though, her desk is covered in camera equipment, and I just don't believe that in this busy open office she's gonna have all these expensive lenses and cameras just laying all over her desk. Even as free-spirited as she is, I think she would take care of her equipment. Like, it was covered. Like, there was just like lenses and cameras and all these. And I was like, come on, I'm gonna put that stuff in a bag. I'm not gonna leave it all laying over my desk.
Yeah, I wonder if that was to like characterize her as free-spirited.
100%.
Right? Yeah.
100%. Finally, damn it. Finally, my true did you see that? They take a selfie in front of the waterfall. Is this in your did you see that?
No, it's not.
In the selfie, she's holding her camera with both arms. They're both extended. In the actual photo, they're just like standing next to her. One arm is down. Like it's very clearly not the same photo.
I love that.
You can't even really see the other arm that's reaching out. So I just thought make it look like the actual picture.
Yeah, that is always like one that trips us up.
Yeah, I know it's so silly, but maybe in 2018, it is a little hard to take a selfie with a camera like that.
100%. And there was another movie we just talked about it too. Oh, it was An Unexpected Valentine. They took a picture with this big ass professional camera, a selfie.
Oh, and it would have been like up their noses.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
All right. Tell me your did you see that?
Okay. I just have two. And I say the following as someone who says a lot of shit incorrectly. All right. There is a scene where they're out on the hike and Alex's camera gets muddy and the girl's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like whatever. Right. And Alex says the line, actually, I don't think it's broke. The word should be broken. It just bothered me so much. I was like, I am not a grammar nerd by any means. You guys hear me talk on this podcast. I say a lot of stuff wrong, but I don't know why that stuck out to me so hardcore.
Yeah, conjugate your verb correctly, Jill Wagner.
Okay. And then my other did you see that is a reviewer on IMDb wrote in their review, it says, quote, copycat ending was too obviously close to another great classic romantic comedy, but then never said what that romantic comedy was. Do you know?
Oh, no, I have no idea.
I have no idea either. I need somebody to weigh in.
Email us, girlsgonehallmark@gmail.com.
Yeah.
What did you rate Pearl in Paradise?
I gave it 3.5 stars.
As did I.
All right.
Which is so weird because I didn't like it less than I liked her pen pal. So just take these ratings with a grain of salt. Listen to our words, not our numbers, people. Thank you for listening to this episode of Girls Gone Hallmark, a Bramble Jam podcast. If you love this podcast, we love your 5-star ratings and reviews. You can leave reviews in the Apple Podcast app, even if that's not the app you use to listen to Girls Gone Hallmark. And we'll be back with more Hallmark reviews. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
All right, friends, before we go, just a quick heads up. You're about to hear some ads. These little gems help us keep the show running and the Hallmark love flowing. So do with that info what you will. Grab a snack, hit the skip button, or maybe, just maybe, listen in and discover your new favorite product. Bye.